Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Some of you noticed that we weren't here last week. That's my fault. It'd be bloody weird if I was blaming someone else for that. Oh, can you believe it? What a dilly of a pickle. Somebody else prevented me from doing the thing that I love to do, which is record and talk to you. I'm looking forward to going live. Eventually, we'll figure that out. We started to with Twitch and a few other things, but I don't know. I think live podcasts, live streaming, we've done a few of those as well. Kind of fun, kind of weird. All around a good time. So this episode, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here in the dog days of summer, today's a live-ish episode. I believe it's the 18th somehow, August 18th. But I've said this in a few episodes recently. I said, as soon as July's over, bingo, bango, Bob's your uncle, we're done. Summertime just disappears at the end of July. I'm not 100% sure why, but I know it does. I know it just gets up and sees itself out. I'll just let myself out. That was a Dr. Hibbert impersonation for those of you who didn't watch The Simpsons in the 90s. I don't think I could impersonate anybody from the show now. I haven't watched it in decades, but I hear it's still on television. Oh, my numbers are down on this. I'm looking at the screen and it's acting funny. I hope it comes across well because I'm recording right now and can't stop and find out. Let's talk a little bit about time. Time. Where have I been for 2 weeks? Where have I been your whole life? Time is more than an illusion. It, to me, is a piece of a grander picture. A picture we're not even really allowed to talk about. The idea that you can forge or create or achieve or get done or dismiss all of these things in and within time. I have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I have time to scroll on my phone. I don't have time to go to the gym. We get to the point where we focus so much on what we're doing, what we've done, what we're going to do. We think to ourselves, we have all the time in the world. I myself am 45 somehow, ladies and gentlemen. How did I get to 45? Last week, I was 22. I'm not sure where 23 years went, but I'd like to know. And that's what I'm talking about. How is it possible that 23 years ago, which should be an eternity, feels like the blink of an eye? How is it that I can look back at time and be like, I remember to a T? I think it has to do with filler. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think that as you're living it and staying in the moment as best you possibly can, you find yourself dragging through time. Meanwhile, I think that time is the one that passes through you. Isn't it weird how you can see someone after 5 years and have it feel like no time has passed at all? Or how a week at the lake feels like both an eternity and the blink of an eye. The illusion of time and how perception bends it, to me, is just, it's just weird because you're in control of how you choose to perceive that in which you are perceiving. You are the perceiver and the perceived. Time as humans measure it as a construct. Perception doesn't follow the tick of the second hand. It follows the weight of the moment. A watched pot never boils, they say. But whether you watch it or not, according to the clock, it boils at the same time. This is how vacations can feel long and short simultaneously, because presence stretches time, but memory compresses it. It seems like just yesterday we arrived at this resort, and I've actually spoken on this a few times. I've said flat out that you can look at an all-inclusive, for example, as life. The first time you ever go on an all-inclusive resort, you're there for 7 days. Most people pick 7 days. You do 1 7-day vacation, you get there, you're like, oh, I've got all the time in the world. It's just getting started. I'm going to find my room. I'm going to take it easy. And then in the blink of an eye, your vacation's over. 7 days gone. You go from getting the lay of the land to being the senior wise man helping the new people on day 6. And then day 7, you're packing up and getting the hell out of here. First thing you do when you get home and you start booking the next vacation is make sure it's 10 days because 7 just isn't enough. You'll also find out that an all-inclusive 14 is often too much. 14 days in all-inclusive, you run out of things that tickle your fancy. So there is a key moment or a key structure or something. But this is your perception. This is your perspective. This is your time. Now, in life, all of us are going to be on our deathbed. Sorry to break it to you. It's a fact. But when that happens, we'll look back and say, it all happened so fast. Like, I'm in the middle of it right now, I assume. I've actually had multiple mystics tell me I'm going to live to 93. So I've got a year and a half to go until I'm in the thick of it. Or like a year and a quarter? No, a year and a half. That's right. And that's my absolute midlife, if I live it to 93. But then there's something to be said. They're telling you you're going to live to 93, so maybe now you're going to make it happen. And people say, well, it doesn't matter. You get hit by a car tomorrow. Absolutely, you can. Imagine your trip got cut short. Imagine you're on an all-inclusive vacation, and on day 2, you cut your foot and have to go home. Oh, stepped on a pop-top and blew out my flip-flop. Oh. That's a Jimmy Buffett quote for some of the older fans. We don't know. Nothing's given. Nothing's given. Nothing's stated. Nothing is for you. We take the time that we have right now, and in the illusion of which we must do what we can with it. Which brings me to the next point. There are so many people so wrapped up in the negativity. There are so many people so wrapped up in what the world has handed to us. In the time that we have here, we have been given and graced with total abundance. And in that abundance, we create limitations, scarcity, fear. But for what? For us? I watched a movie the other day called The Sphere. It's from 1998 or something. Samuel L. Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone. And the idea was this sphere was on this time-traveling spaceship that was from the USA, 300 years in advance. In the future, in advance. And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, he says, this is a sphere. Once you walk into it, you can create absolutely anything you want. You are granted here total abundance, total creativity. And he says, what did we create? Even us, the brightest of minds, what did we create? Our fears, our deepest, darkest fears. The interesting thing about the spheres, he's referring to Earth. He's referring to this realm and this reality. And the deeper you go down into this realm and this reality, the deeper you look at what it is that you can see here, the more you understand that we were gifted total abundance. The more you tap into that, the more you get it. So when you, again, back to time, when you're sitting there trying to figure out how time is flying in such a hurry, how the hell we got to 43, 44, 45, and how quickly we're going to get to 53, 54, 55. What are we going to do with it? How much can we maximize our time? Because just like the vacation, The minute it's over, you look back and go, fuck, I had so much more I wanted to do. And I'm not saying that death is permanent. In fact, I am saying that the only thing that makes life worth living is death. Because if we knew unequivocally that we weren't going to die, it would change the way we perceive everything. Death is a hard stop. Death is what gives validity to life. Life implies death. This is science. So, the time that you have here and what we're doing here and what we choose to do here and how we choose to perceive what we're doing here comes full circle. The negativity that we constantly utilize or are bombarded with may seem like, I don't even know. It may seem like it's ridiculous. I have so many people right now talking about, I don't want to experience this. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to go through this. And I've said 1,000 times over, this is the meaning of life. This is the purpose of it. And if you can change your perception of it, if you can swap out the way you choose to perceive, look at, see what it is you're doing in a negative and or positive light, if you can change how you see it, it changes itself. So when we worry about stuff, when we think about the poison, when we think about the negatives, the stuff that we don't want, well, then now we're trapped because now life is negative. Now everything's all encompassing because we're living in that very moment. And that moment is just a fleeting moment because, again, we don't know what time is. But we live in that moment and it can last forever. But the minute you step out of that moment, it's over. Life gives us negativity not as a punishment, but as the raw material for growth, in my firm opinion. The venom carries the antivenom. The thing we most want to avoid is the exact key to transcendence. It's the mirror of discomfort. Everything we dislike out there is a reflection of an unresolved piece of, quote unquote, in here. Negativity is just compressed wisdom, waiting for release. For you to work through the thing that you don't like allows you to create the thing that you do like. It allows you to be like, I overcame this. I figured this out. We don't allow ourselves that grace anymore. We pick fights with everybody. Rage baiting is all over the place. Everybody's afraid to make a move because of for fear of what somebody else will say. There's all these opinions on social media, and social media itself has gone absolutely off the fucking deep end because it's no longer you seeing your friends. When you open the Instagram, it used to be, hey, these are the people I'm following. This is the shit that I'm seeing. Now you're just seeing whatever they want to show you. They're just putting reels in front of your face. And you're like, I stopped on this one for longer than 0.2 seconds. I probably want to see more of it. So Instagram's like, here you go. And there's a tip for you guys that want to do some creation. You want to create, you want to content create, fucking create what you want. But then tickle the algorithm with reels. This is a surefire way to fire it all up. Fire to feed if had to. That was a bit of a tangent there. Shadow work is a huge part of this too, as we're jumping back into topic. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm excited to be here. It's been a couple weeks. Shadow work is the integration factor. You don't escape the negative. You alchemize it. Therefore, all of the shit that you don't think you can do or you don't want to do or any of that sort of stuff, once you understand that you can do it, then you step into it. All of these people that are super rich, you want to be super rich, but you can't because your $35 an hour 9-to-5er is killing you and ripping your soul out of your body. We'll figure out what they're doing, learn what they're doing. Give us a call. Maybe we can help. There's no reason that you should suffer other than to overcome the suffering, to create the life that overcomes the piece of you that you're not happy with. Coal under pressure becomes diamonds. The shit you're in right now is fertilizer for what you're going to become. Diamonds are a funny one too, since we're talking about it. De Beers made a deal. that rock means nothing. This rock means everything. There's diamond mines everywhere, but unless they're stamped off and sealed off, then they're not worth anything. And they've got this massive influx of all these pre-made diamonds everywhere, and they cornered and killed the market. They turned a shiny rock into a bajillion-dollar industry. Why? Because they can. Don't get me started on crystals. Don't get me started on earth elements and the stones that we should be wearing versus the ones that they want us to wear. Oh, there's a little bit of an episode there. I'd have to get my wonderful girlfriend back out here to talk about that because she's a bit of a firecracker. And I don't know if you know this about her, but she likes rocks. She's a good kid. If life were only bliss, you wouldn't grow. Friction is the teacher that shapes the soul. You know you've gone too far when you bounce off the wall. You got to come back. We resist negativity because it feels like poison. But resistance is actually the block. Negativity is the curriculum of the Earth School. It's like what we reject in this life is often the very medicine we came here to take. The snake's bite is also the healer's touch, depending on how deeply we're willing to look. But just like time bends in perception, negativity bends in meaning. The illusions we wrestle with, time, pain, are both teachers in disguise. Time shows us presence. Pain shows us power. Together, well, they guide us towards remembering who we are beyond the illusion. Where in your life are you seeing your time slip? Where are you avoiding the venom? What happens if you stop resisting and start looking deeper? This is a big one, too. Because there's so much that we just haphazardly dismiss as an answer we found somewhere, dug up somewhere, heard somewhere, something. And we just stuck with it. And it became our motto. Every single thought that you have must be questioned. Every single belief that you hold, you must be able to challenge. To look at time and query why it goes so fast and so slow really shows you the power of the illusion. We can throw the Mandela effect into this too. Stove for stovetop stuffing. Right? I remember it, you remember it, they all remember it. It never existed. So not only is time both fast and slow, it's gaslighting us. Because what we think is our actual memory is not. But we choose to make it that way, which then creates our reality. Therefore, if you're looking at your negatives, you're going to see them. If you're looking for your positives, you're going to find them. If you look through your negatives to a path of overcoming, well, guess what happens? If you sit and wallow in your own shit, guess what happens? This world is not what it has delivered itself to be, but it is exactly what we need it to be for our perceptions to make sense of what we're doing. This is the coolest thing out of all of this, that you really get the opportunity to grab your own life by the chutzpah and create what you want to create. And how do you do that? Simply take a look at every piece of your life that you fucking hate and change it. Find a way, create a path, do something. It sounds condescending for me. Oh, sure, it's easy for you. It's not fucking easy for me to say because I'm fighting the same battles most of you are fighting. Except my pants look fantastic. That was a reference to Saturday Night Live. I put my pants on just like you, one leg at a time. But when I do, I make golden records. I come from a place riddled with addiction, riddled with despair, riddled with self-hate. And it was just like it sounds, horrible, eating me up and killing me. So what did I do about it? You know, it's not like, oh, I went out and I earned more money, or I went out and I learned about the stock market, or I went out. Fuck all that. Like that's the lie. Busy work is the lie. Yes, you have to do it. Yes, you have to align. But the importance is understanding your true value, understanding who and where you are, inside your time, inside your negativity, inside your fear, inside anything. If you're super stoked about life, fucking share that with people and explain why. If you're having a hard time, ladies and gentlemen, reach the F out to anyone in your circle. And if you don't have a cool circle, reach out to me. I want to talk to you. Reach out to Christy. She's starting her own coaching program. Reach out to anyone in the Mental Mastery Alliance. They will talk to you. We will talk to you. Just remember that you don't have to do anything, obviously, that you don't want to do. And you don't have to have conversations with anyone about anything. But you do have to perceive things. And when you decide that you want different things for yourself, different results, different anything, well, now it's time for you to step forward. And this is the biggest thing, because once you do step forward, it's not instantaneous. It's not like you're going to just, okay, I want more for myself. I'm going to be an overnight success. I'm going to be an astronaut and work for NASA and go into space. That's what I want to do. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. But if you do want to go work for NASA, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Now, how is it that you can create and do and be all of these things? Well, I'll tell you this right now. Every single, where you are in life, every single ounce of where you are in life is the result of the effort that you've put in with the knowledge that you currently have. You have maximized your life up until this moment in time. And if you're in pain or you're dissatisfied or you don't like where you are, guess what? That's the cool thing. Because that's the thing that says, I'm going to do more. I'm going to find out how and I'm going to execute. And I'd say you've got all the time in the world, but you don't. You have the allotted amount of time that you have. That could be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 150 years. I think Moses lived to 700. But I made a comment about that on Facebook, and some guy ripped on me and then blocked me, so I didn't have the opportunity to reply to him. Don't you just love people on the internets that run their mouths, that keyboard warrior all over the place, and then they block you because they can't handle your reply? I'm going to go put my face mask on. Oh, no. We were afraid for a long time to speak. Anyone that spoke against the narrative got shut down. But I'll tell you this right now. You speak your purpose, you speak your power, you speak your passion, you create it. You back down from that shit, you create that weakness as well. Do you want to live in a world where you're no longer allowed to go for walks in the forest in New Brunswick? Oh, fire. Oh, no. You're going to kill Grandma. Huh. I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you this. I lost my train of thought, so you're not going to get it. But I'll tell you this. I'm going to leave you guys with a song. I've been working with a few programs and a few people and a few ideas to create some mantras, some guided meditations, and some other things. And we're going to try and do our best to create some stuff. So what you're going to hear in a few seconds, you're probably already hearing a little bit of it right now. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't overlapped or looped it, or who knows what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing with my hands right now. Where am I? Ladies and gentlemen, where am I? You're going to hear one of our songs. And we're going to start uploading these things to Spotify under our own brand and our own name. And these things are going to help you declutter. Right? There is a ton of stuff that we're going to keep putting out there for free for everyone. And all you have to do is take a look at your life, take a look at what you like and what you don't like, and simply make a decision to change certain things. So I lied about you probably hearing that earlier, but you're going to be hearing it now as we're fading out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being you. Thank you for understanding you. And if the world wasn't as chaotically effed up as it truly is right now, I wouldn't even have a job. It is the chaos in this world that allows me to help other people through the chaos in this world. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I am eternally grateful for all of you, for every single one of you that stuck with us through the screw-ups, the ups, the downs, the erasure of the old podcast thread. And ladies and gentlemen, too, please share the show so that we get some of our numbers back. But if not, keep the show to yourself. If it's helping you, I love it. If you think it can help somebody else, share it. If you want to be on the show, hit us up, info@the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you've got something fun to say, come on the show. Or at least email us. And like, don't be weird. Like, you'd be weird, actually. I take that back. Be weird, but like, don't be like, rich. Anyway, I love you guys. We're going to talk to you soon. And in the infamous words of Red Green, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.